Hello, everybody. This is lesson video to estimate to find percent. So today we are going to be drawing tape diagrams and making estimations about a percent. So it's not going to be an exact number. We're just looking to see for reasonableness. Okay, so what we're going to do first here is we are going to look at the two numbers that were given. So it says, what is 48% of 76? So what we're going to try to do today is we are going to round to find compatible numbers. Compatible numbers are what I like to call friendly numbers because they work with our brain. They're easier to manage. So when I look at 48, the number that I think about first is 50. So I'm going to try to use 50 instead of 48. And the same thing is true for 76. 76 isn't a bad number, but I think that 80 would probably be a little bit more manageable. Okay, so on my tape diagram here, I'm going to label the top part of the diagram as percents. And then the bottom, I am going to label with my number value here. Okay, so now my job is, how do I show 50% here? Where do I mark 50%? Well, 50% is at halfway. So I'm going to decompose that tape diagram into two. Now I have two spaces. So 80 divided by 2 is 40. That's it. So we can estimate that 48% of 76 is about 40. Okay. All right, let's look at another one here. So what is 60% of 27? 60 is a pretty compatible number. That's doable. We can work with that. 27 is kind of a wonky number. So let's change this to, instead of being 27, let's go for 30. Okay, and just like in the last problem, we'll label our top part of our tape diagram as percents. And then our number value goes on the bottom down here. Okay, now I'm going to look here and I'm going to say, well, how do I count to get to 60? So what do I, like 5, 10, 12, like what am I counting by that I can eventually get to 60%? 10% would work. I could do 10, 20, 30, 40. But I'm going to have a lot of hash marks here. So what I could do is count by 20s. So let's do that. We'll do 20%, 40%, 60, 60% and 80%. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and decompose the tape diagram into different sections. Okay. And now instead of one whole bar, I now have 5 parts, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now, since I have 5, I'm going to do 30 divided by those 5 parts. 30 divided by 5 is 6. Okay, so that's my first section. So each little one is going to be adding on 6. So I'm going to count by 6s now. 6, 12, 18, 24. Now let's look back at our original question here is, what is 60% of 30? So I'm going to go on my double number line here, find 60, and I can see that my answer is 18. All right, let's do this last one. This will be our last problem here. So again, look for compatible numbers. 18%, let's change to 20%. 500, we can keep that. That's okay. We'll do our percentages on the top here and our number value on the bottom. Now we need to think about, how can I count to get to 20%, to show 20%? I can count by 10s and I can also count by 20s. I prefer to count by 20s so that I'm not writing 7 billion numbers on top. So we have 20, 40, 60, 80. Okay, and while we're like, oh, I got to 20, I only need to mark here. Do not stop there. You actually need to do the whole thing, because then you can see how many parts there are in the tape diagram. Okay, so now we can see there are 5 parts. So now that one big chunk is going to be divided into 5. So I will divide this by 5. So 500 divided by 5, 100. So I'm going to add on 100 at each mark. All right, and now I know I'm looking for 20%. There it is. Okay. So the biggest takeaway for today is finding a compatible number. and then knowing how to space out your tape diagram. That tells me how many parts there are and what I need to divide by. All right, you guys, this one's a pretty fun and doable lesson. If you have any questions, please let me know, and happy math.